Hey there, today we're talking about how to pick a caterer for your wedding. We'll talk about all the things you need to think about and consider before you commit to your caterer. Hi, I'm Amy Shackelford, General Manager of PalmWood Event and Conference here in downtown Fort Worth, Texas. This is episode 8 of our wedding planning video series, and we're bringing you over 2 decades of industry experience to help you plan your wedding. Today's topic is how to pick a caterer, one that's right for your budget, for your personal preferences, and for your wedding. First off, you need to consider your budget. Your budget will determine a lot of items for you. It may determine your type of food, your style of service, and perhaps even when food is served. Some weddings are really coming into the planning process and they know what they want on their menu. Perhaps it's a type of food that's been in your family for years. Maybe it's a recipe that you had and enjoyed the night of your proposal. Or perhaps it's even just a good comfort food. And so some of those things will help you determine your budget. Another item that will help you determine your budget is the style of service. Perhaps you want something very formal. Sometimes those formal styles of service will create more expense. You need more servers. Perhaps you need more serving dishes or platters. Also, understanding the timing of when your food is served may also dictate how much food is served and when. If you start off real slow, you may want to offer something later on in the evening. A lot of couples are incorporating a late night snack in the reception, and so the budget will help you understand when you should serve the food items you've got planned. You also need to look at the style of reception that you're interested in, right? The type. Maybe it's based on your personal preferences. Maybe you've been to several weddings and you've been able to see the difference between a buffet or a cocktail reception. Maybe it's a brunch even. You could even consider the formal seated dinners. And so understanding what you like will help you decide on what type of reception you're going to host. Your wedding timeline is also really important, depending on how long you're planning. Understanding what's really important to you during the reception could also dictate the type of reception that you're going to host. Your budget, very important to understanding what type of reception that you can host. Beyond these 2 items, you'll also have to pick a style of service. So the style of service, which I was talking about just a moment ago, is really about understanding how your caterer is going to execute what your vision is. Is it food stations? Is it buffet? Is it a roaming menu? Perhaps the style of service is going to be family style, where the guests all serve each other and help themselves at the table. Will your caterer have enough serving utensils? Will they have servers that are familiar with this service? How will they present this to every single table at the reception? Perhaps it's more about a plated meal where every guest is presented their dish at the same time. That takes a lot of servers. So consider those things and understand what style of service you like best, and that will help you plan that. You also want to know what the caterer can customize for you. Can the caterer show variety? Are they creative? Will they take your personal preferences into account when they're helping you plan and detail your menu? And finally, you'll want to know if the caterer can accommodate all of your cultural, religious, and dietary considerations. Gluten-free, vegan, vegetarian, pescatarian, all of these things are really important and they're valid. You need to make sure that your caterer can accommodate those things if it's really important to your guests or to you. The cultural and religious aspect of the ceremony and reception are very important, and understanding the limitations there is key to picking the right caterer. Knowing that you're in good hands for all of your guests is really important. I will say, pre-plan those things though. Don't surprise the chef the day of and say, oh, we have 5 vegans. Always pre-plan and over-prepare in those regards, because you don't want your guests to have to wait, and that's what ends up happening. Here's a bonus tip. Once you've picked your caterer, go over a tentative menu. This tentative menu will not be the menu that you plan at the end, possibly. It could be, but it helps you with your budgeting. It helps you understand the ability of your caterer, how that will flow. It gives you a vision of how the night might happen. It also helps you with your budget and know, oh, you know what? We have $5 more per person. Let's add crab to the menu or whatever it is. Understand a tentative menu will really help kind of secure that or bookmark that, 1, the dollars for you, but 2, kind of give you a little relief through your planning process. It's also a good idea to plan your menus and tastings within the season of when the reception will happen. And this just means our food product is cyclical, and so you don't want strawberries necessarily in one month, and you may love them in another month. And so if you're tasting the menu and strawberries are on the menu and they're bad, it's January, they'll be great in August. So consider those things whenever you're planning and tasting. That's really important. Beef and dairy prices fluctuate, so sometimes understanding the menu and the pricing closer to the day will help you with your accurate pricing. Now, most venues and caterers request money up front, and so in some cases you'll have to have these things out a month in front, but by that point your chef or caterer should have a really good idea of catering pricing, as well as what's going to be great to taste and eat. I'd love to know more about how you're considering your caterer. How are you picking that caterer? It really is important for us to have you here. We appreciate it very much. If you haven't done so, please follow us on social media. If you'd be interested in touring PalmWood, please do so by emailing me at ashackelford@palmwoodevents.com. I wish you the best. Cheers.